Very sunny where we are going next to Reggie Chatman. Last time we talked to him, Reggie was on the road down to sunny Florida and spring training. Now you're there, you got the shades on, you're looking good. You can take them off if you want at some point, but you are looking very sharp down there, my friend.
Well, Zach, I'll tell you, man, I really enjoy these streams because we can have a little bit more fun. I can have my sunglasses on, and I'll be honest, I did take them off because I'm a professional newsman, but when you teased it that I was going to have them on, I felt like I had to put them back on. But I will take them off. We are a professional news organization, and we've got plenty to talk about from here at spring training on what is really, like you said, a beautiful day. It's like 70 degrees, a little bit of a breeze, perfect place for baseball. And, of course, we've had the sounds of mitts popping, balls getting thrown, and players being seen. It has been an awesome, awesome start to spring training from here in Northport.
You know, Reggie, how can you not love that? How can you not feel a little romantic about baseball? And how can you not feel a little excited about, I see a palm tree over your shoulder. I mean, how good is that? And, of course, we know you're a pro. I wouldn't have razzed you about the sunglasses if you weren't. But, Reggie, I mean, what are you seeing? What's the vibe in spring training? Is a lot of Braves fans are hoping for a good season this year.
Yeah, look, I'll tell you, it's been kind of an up and down day with plenty of news, so let's try and go through it. But first, I kind of want to just show you what it kind of looked like from out here as we kind of toss to some of this beautiful video and really a beautiful day here in Northport, Florida. You got to see a lot of the normal guys that you anticipated getting a chance to see. It was really good seeing some of the frontline starters in this organization kind of able to be out here and throw. Of course, guys like Spencer Strider, Chris Sale, Reynaldo Lopez, as well as Grant Holmes, all guys that did miss significant time or even the entire season in Reynaldo Lopez's case, or actually for most of the season for Reynaldo Lopez's case, heading into this season, be able to be healthy and hopefully stay healthy over the course of the season. We also got a chance to see former manager Brian Snitker, who is on hand just driving around in a golf cart, really enjoying his new life as a guy that really doesn't have a whole lot on his plate during his time here in Northport. But we also got a chance to see the new manager, Walt Weiss, a guy that he says is going to be leaning on manager Brian Snitker, or former manager Brian Snitker, a whole lot. Weiss, his first day leading the charge here as the Braves manager, he said that this is a role that he's, of course, excited to kind of move into now. He got a chance to sit in the office, which we'll hear from him in a second. But also, spring training has always been special for him. It's always been a busy time for him. As the former bench coach, he was in charge of all of the planning to make sure everybody was in the right position. Now he's in a different role, but just as busy. Here's what he had to say about his first day on the job and what it's been like here in Northport as the new manager of this organization.
It was different, a little different, yeah. I've been here 8 years, and today's the first day I sat in that chair in that office, so that's different, you know, and it's great. Snit's walking around, you know, be a great sounding board for me moving forward, but certainly different. But I've done this before, so it won't take long, especially with this group. I know the group well, you know, so that helps. But I'm excited. You know, I'm excited about the job, about our team, our group, the staff, top to bottom. We got good people and good players, so that makes it exciting.
There certainly is a whole lot to be excited about when it comes to what manager Walt Weiss is kind of inheriting from last year's team. He's hoping that this year's roster is a little bit more healthy, but Zach, not a good start on that note. The big news coming out of the day, like normally you would think the first thing we would talk about with the new manager is his first day on the job. The biggest news coming out of the day is that Spencer Schwellenbach, a starter for this Braves team that missed some time last season, has been placed on the 60-day injured list. He's having some soreness in his elbow. Really an unfortunate situation for this team that was hoping to have all of their starters back this year. He's going to be out for a significant amount of time.
Reggie, you talk about the injury bug already rearing its very ugly head. This has been a challenge for the team in years past as well. How is the clubhouse absorbing that news just a few days into spring training?
Yeah, it really is unfortunate, right? Because, like you said, this has been something that this team has been dealing with for a long time, especially over the course of the last couple of years. A couple of years ago, it was players in their starting lineup. This last year, it was their entire starting rotation from the beginning of the season, all went down at some point. And Walt Weiss was really, he said it is an opportunity for a lot of these other guys. We've known that this organization has dealt with those injuries in the past. So he says his message earlier in this, as he had guys come in for these early meetings, was to be ready. Some of these pitchers who may or may not make the roster on opening day, he believes will probably have a pretty good chance of seeing time pitching in the big, just based off of, I guess, some of their luck and how their starting rotation and the relievers have dealt with injuries in the past. And I think what's really been disappointing for this group is Schwellenbach pitched just some weeks ago. And Walt Weiss said that he was looking good until it wasn't looking good. Some of that, I guess, pain in his elbow, and we actually had a chance to ask him about it, and here's what he had to say about what he feels like the actual injury is and what it means for this club.
I think it's more like bone spur type stuff. There's some elbow inflammation, and so we'll go from there. You know how these things work. We got to check all the boxes and all that type of thing, but it's going to be significant time he's going to miss.
Really, really disappointing stuff. He was asked if this had anything to do with the UCL injury that he was dealing with. It had nothing to do with that, so it is a totally separate injury that has happened to Spencer, which is really unfortunate. So you do wonder what it's going to look like next for the starting rotation. Who will step up to the proverbial plate and be ready to step up on that mound and take up that final spot in the starting rotation. We did see Bryce Elder out here, a guy that's gotten a whole lot of starts in a Braves uniform. Hurston Waldrop, who dealt with injuries at the last part of the season, he looked really good here at spring training, and he's a guy that they hope as a young arm can come in and fill plenty of innings. So it'll be interesting to see. The big thing also is going into the season, there was so much conversation about are they going to find another starter to fill in that rotation? Walt Weiss was asked about, he says that Alex Anthopoulos, their general manager, he says he never stops working. The plan is to try and find somebody to add to this starting rotation. And now that the injury to Spencer Schwellenbach has happened, the chirping from the outside, especially on my social media, is definitely going to get louder and louder. So this it's going to be a big time for general manager Alex Anthopoulos, try and find somebody to help bolster the starting rotation.
Reggie, I know it's not called Twitter officially anymore, but when you talk about the chirping, it fits on Twitter, and that's what you find there a lot. Reggie, I know that Walt Weiss has been with the program for a long time, but this is his first year being the guy, leading the clubhouse. How do you get a sense, does his long tenure with the club either help or hurt him in the eyes of the clubhouse? Does it give him more buy-in from the players?
100%. He is a guy that is respected in this clubhouse. We talked to Sean Murphy before the beginning of practice today, and he talked a lot about the energy that Walt Weiss brings to the table. He's a guy that brings a lot of respect to the game of baseball. He is a guy that has garnered a lot of respect within the organization because he is honest. I was really interested in trying to figure out, and I actually asked him this, what is kind of the difference when you're the manager versus the bench coach and trying to create those relationships and have those conversations? He said the biggest thing is just having that honesty and being that honest guy that he always has been. He knows that now in this role there's going to be a couple more difficult conversations that he's going to have with guys, especially as they try to cut down this roster heading into opening day. But he is a guy that this team trusts, the roster trusts, and they're happy. Sean Murphy said they're happy that he was the one who ended up getting this job and will lead them into the future.
Reggie, as you're down there in person, kind of soaking in the sights and sounds of spring training, what else stands out to you that you are, and maybe Braves fans can be looking forward to as we get ready for the start of this season?
Yeah, we had some interesting notes that as I'm kind of out here, you're kind of looking around, you're checking your notepad, trying to see who is and who isn't here. I mentioned some of the guys that were here. We also, and because it's just pitchers and catchers, not a lot of the position players were here. We did see Ozzy Albies here, Mauricio Dubon, who will likely be starting at shortstop, as Ha-Seong Kim will be out for the beginning of the season. Both those guys were here and getting some batting practice as well as taking some grounders. I was curious to look at some of the catchers as well. Drake Baldwin, fresh off the NL Rookie of the Year campaign, he is back. He is going to be expected to play a whole lot, considering that Sean Murphy, the normal starter for the Braves at catcher, will miss the beginning of the season as he is still working his way back from that hip injury that he suffered near the end of last season, had to get surgery on. We did get a chance to talk to Sean, ask him how he's feeling, and this is what he had to say.
No, we're checking boxes as we go, but so far, no setbacks and everything's going well. I don't have an exact date or timeline, but I feel good and I think everything's going well and we're getting good reports.
Not a lot of, like you said, not a real timeline that we know about when he'll actually be able to come back, but we're thinking that he will shoot for a time around May. One quick note before we go, Nacho Alvarez, normally an infielder, we did see him working with the catchers, which is something interesting. So we'll have to see what that means going forward. We'll send it back to you, Zach, from here at Northports, and have more coverage throughout the rest of the day.
Our Reggie Chatman live for us from Braves spring training. Reggie, we appreciate it. Looking forward to checking with you later on this week.